Are you ready to listen to a podcast?
Here comes the Playhouse Podcast, thanks to Bradshaw and Bryan Law Offices.
Find, subscribe, and listen.
Did you miss a show? Download the podcast now.
Hey, it's Elena J. So you buy a house and weird stuff starts happening. So you go into the attic and you find witchcraft symbols? What? Yeah, our listener Natasha will share that story with you. Plus, what's the longest you've gone without peeing? And have you ever gotten revenge on somebody? Dang, our listeners are petty. Their revenge stories plus so much more is coming up in the Playhouse Podcast, which starts now.
Had a cool social snag from a friend's Facebook who's doing a lot of DIY projects, and she saw this on someone else's feed, and it says, if you ever need wallpaper to wallpaper this room again, it's going to take 8 rolls, costs about $17 per roll. It was a message that was written and stuck inside for when people were to rip down that wallpaper
from like
and start
1997,
fresh.
right? So
Yes.
I wonder what the price difference is. So that's kind of cool.
Yep.
But
I
then
just thought it was really cool.
So they peel the wallpaper off, and boom, there's this note saying, "Here's what you need."
Yeah.
I think that's kind of neat. So we thought we'd ask, what are you finding in your home? You moved in and you found what that would kind of make us go, "Damn!" How's Natasha doing this morning?
Good.
What'd you find when you moved in?
So my mom's best friend moved into an apartment complex, like a duplex.
Okay.
And recently she was having like weird things pop up on her nanny cam. She would like, it's motion censored. So she would wake up to like her phone vibrating, and it's all recorded. Like there was somebody clearly walking across the nanny cam.
Stop
like,
it.
Twice.
Oh.
And she would wake up like being choked. Her son had bite marks on his back and an actual handprint as if somebody had smacked him on the back.
Oh, my God.
So then they looked into it, and they had a priest come over, a medium, and then someone else that does history, a realtor that does history of the houses. And they went up to the attic, and there was witchcraft all over the walls.
Like pentagrams and stuff like that?
Yeah, that sort.
No.
And they looked into the history, and it was a guy and a woman, and I believe it was 1 or 2 kids, and he actually killed all of them and himself, and she practiced witchcraft.
Isn't that crazy that their presence, if it was their ghostly presence, was so heavy that it picked up on a motion cam?
Yep. And you can see it clear across the camera. Like, I freaked out.
Was it like a mist or a shadow, or what did it look
Was
like?
the ghost hot?
It was literally a person walking across the camera. Like, and then, because I didn't believe it, so they sent me another video that was, like, zoomed in, and it was a clear male just walking across.
Oh, my God. I'm getting chills. Look at my arm. Oh,
Sure it was a dude.
I'm getting chills just saying it again.
JJ wants it to be a hot ghost. He doesn't believe in this stuff. I believe in this stuff. So
it's crazy.
So what they do? Did the priest get all the spirits out, or they have to move?
Yep. So it's been 2 weeks now that there hasn't been anything.
Oh.
They are prepping to move, but it's a rental, so they couldn't just get up and go because
Sure.
the landlord wouldn't let
Oh, it's
them.
so much better to live
But
with,
the person
bite marks
below-
on your back in the middle of the night by the ghost.
But
Yeah.
I feel like with a realtor, they have to disclose information if people were murdered
I
at
don't
a
think
house.
that's right.
Shouldn't that be the same thing with a landlord providing housing for people?
I don't know if the landlord knew. I have no clue.
Sure.
I guess I didn't ask. But the person below her, sometimes she would feel like she'd wake up and as if somebody was like had just laid next to her.
Oh,
Was she
my
hot?
God. You don't
Yeah.
you don't have to answer those questions.
Hey, good stories, Natasha. Thanks for playing along with us. I appreciate the heads up on the ghost stuff, all right?
Yeah, but
Take care. Hey, Carrie, do you believe in the ghost stuff? Did you hear that call?
I did hear it, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I've got mixed feelings on it because my old house had some creepy stuff in it, too.
How come ghosts don't ever do anything good? You know what I mean? Like, I never wake up to, like, an extra $20 laying next to me because the ghost put it there. Like, there's always bite marks or
You're a
scary
naysayer.
stuff.
They don't do it to naysayers.
All right. What'd you find when you moved
that's
in,
pretty
Carrie?
So we moved into our house. It'll be 4 years ago in July.
Yeah.
And ever since we moved in, we had major issues, like flooding on all of our floor, our main floor, which is actually like a walkout basement, so
Sure.
it's half into a hill. And last year we ended up ripping up the flooring because it was moldy, and we had to do a whole bunch of reconstruction. And we found spray painted on the ground concrete, "Happy Birthday Ghana." Well, we looked up what Ghana meant because it had the tilde over the N.
Oh, it's not the country, like Ghana, the country?
No, it's actually a Spanish word. We Googled it, and it just so happened to be also the week of my significant other's birthday. And yeah, spray painted on our floor is "Happy Birthday, I win." So we have a
Oh my
Spanish
God.
on our floor. Which would make sense as to why we've had to retile around our entire house and remodel the inside, and it all looks the same.
Jeez. I feel like I would do something crazy like that and creepy like that if I were to sell my house and have carpet. I'd pull up the carpet real quick and write a message because I want to replace it.
So the very first home we bought after I took this job, I finished the basement. And so once we got the walls and the insulation up and stuff like that, and I was sealing off the walls, I would take, if you are using a box of screws, you kind of rip off the top so it's not always flapping there and stuff like that. And I would write stuff on there like "Hi dopey" or "You're stupid," and I would leave it in the wall, thinking at one point somebody's gonna tear this down or try and do whatever, and they're gonna find those. But I never got smart enough to really put something scary in there. I think that would be great. I think the lesson to be learned from the show today is if you're doing any kind of DIY right now,
leave a note.
Leave
a
note that said, "Hey, 15 people died in a cult experiment here, and now they're going to haunt you forever." I think that's what people want to find.
Well, thanks for calling and sharing your super scary story.
Yeah, no problem.
That's not scary. The birthday one is not scary.
I win?
Yeah.
Happy birthday, I win.
How did you take that, Elena? Is that scary to you?
That's scary.
That's very scary. What did they just win? I want to know what they won. They won by scaring me?
They're on our show today.
All right.
That's a big win.
Angela texted, "We found a homemade cross in the ductwork. After a short time, we found out why it was there and is still there 15 years later. So maybe
You
it's
left
to
it. They left it.
Protect the house."
Oh, you moved in, and what'd you find? Guys, I'll tell you the story about what was behind one of our interns' refrigerators when they moved into an apartment off campus. It is the best. She came in one morning, and you could tell that they'd obviously been partying the night before on campus. And I said, how was the party? She's like, "You guys want to know how it started?" And I'm like, well, yeah, sure. Apparently they had, in a lot of campus apartments, you have the refrigerator, and then there's cupboards above the refrigerator, and that's where usually people keep their alcohol, right? She's like, "Went up there to grab something, and my phone slid off my hand and into the back of the fridge and back behind the fridge. So we had to pull the refrigerator out. And most campus apartments are pretty tight right there, so you can barely get that thing out." She said when we pulled it out, we found 2 marital aids, each length of 1.5 feet.
Ish.
And
ish and ouch.
And I said, "Well, what'd you do?" She's like, "Well, we washed them." And I said, "Oh, you kept them?" She's like, "Well, of course, they're very expensive." And I was
In
like,
her defense, they are very expensive.
I was like, "So you Lysol wiped these things down and decided they became yours?" She's like, "Absolutely. In the top drawer they went."
Now, those would be funny to leave inside a wall.
Now, remember when you were, 19 or 20? And you had no money and you were willing to just wipe one off?
That is so
that
gross.
Got me a little bit skeevied out. So that's the question is, you moved in and what did you find? Nikki, what'd you find?
Well, we found mini liquor bottles inside the air vent in the bathroom.
Empty ones?
Like the ones from the mini bar?
Yeah.
What do you think was going on there?
So we actually bought the house from a family member, family friend, and their uncle that lived there too. And we think that they had an addiction and would evidently go to the bathroom and take a swig and actually unscrew the vent to hide the evidence.
Oh, my God.
And they were in the vent, like the floor vent?
Yes.
Like how many?
Probably 80 or 90.
80 or 90 mini liquor bottles. Holy Hannah.
This poor guy. That is crazy. Talking about the longest you have had to hold your urine, or maybe your crazy urine stories. People just pee wherever they have to.
This
Guys,
guy in China, 18 hours?
40-year-old man from China suffered 3 bladder tears because he drank 10 beers and held it for 18 hours. He woke up from his sleep, started experiencing this sharp pain.
He went to sleep with all this?
In his abdomen, yeah.
I think this would keep me up.
It would definitely keep me up.
Jill, how are you?
Good.
Now, how long did you have to hold the potty?
14 hours.
Why? How?
I was on a flight from Japan to Minneapolis, and I did not want to disturb the gentleman next to me who was sleeping on my shoulder.
You are the nicest person, but he slept for 14 hours?
Well, it didn't happen till halfway through the flight, and then I just couldn't.
You
and
let a
then
stranger
you forget how...
nap on your shoulder.
Oh, go ahead. And that too, yeah.
So, again, just to recap this, you're 6 hours into the flight. I got a tinkle. But Bill next to me here is napping. I don't want to disturb him. So you held your potty for 14 hours?
14 hours. Not recommended.
No.
And you kind of forget when you come back from an international flight, you have to wait even longer to go up through all those lines and security. So I couldn't make a beeline to the potty right away. I had to potty dance for another 30 minutes.
And you know the feeling, like when you've been sitting for a while holding it, and then you stand up and gravity takes hold, and then it's like, hello, you have to go to the bathroom. I just can't believe you didn't do like a little, hey, I'm so sorry. I just have to go to the bathroom real quick.
Jill, do you have kids? Did it make that worse?
Yeah, at the time I had one child already.
So you were...
I don't know how you did that, girl.
And you didn't leave anything behind on the plane at all?
No, but it did result in a medical bill and a severe...
Oh, say that again. You're breaking up. It resulted in what?
Oh, a severe urinary tract infection.
Oh,
not highly recommended.
Nice. So you get to a new country, you finally get a chance to cut a whiz, and you got a UTI.
Exactly. But I was back in America.
But you were the kindest human on that plane, weren't you?
Was he worth a UTI?
No, he had no idea.
To this day, he doesn't understand how he's influenced your life.
Right.
Poor Bill. All right. Hey, thanks, Jill. Have a great morning.
So, have you ever had one of those nights where you have the same dream all night, or it feels like it doesn't bounce around?
No, usually it's just you don't really dream until the very end, and that's when you hit your REM sleep, and that's the one you remember.
I don't think so. So I started when I went to bed.
You're telling me you had a 9-hour dream last night?
When I woke up, that's when the dream ended, and it was crazy. It was like Clarkapalooza happened this summer, and the only place we could have it was at Tara from Promo's house. And then we have it there, and I'm helping clean up, and she's there with Stephanie in the kitchen. And I'm like, thank you so much for letting us have this at your house. And she goes, yeah, you're welcome. Some things have gone missing.
Oh.
And I go, like what? She goes, 3 Young Living oil bottles. And I go, really? I have a few. You can choose some. She goes, not the kind I want. So, and it was just like one thing after another. Before you know it, we were in a tunnel of tree roots, and we're eating pizza on a
She
couch.
was burying you after stealing her essential oils?
It was the weirdest. I don't know if it was the cauliflower that
I think you're
ate.
seeing the future. I don't think that's a dream. I think
I'm
that's
going to end up in a tree root tunnel.
Listen, if you ever thought you were going to get buried in someone's property, whose would it be?
Oh, my God.
Hers.
Hers.
She would dig a tunnel, she'd bury you under some tree roots, and then she'd keep you alive slowly by feeding you one pizza a week until you rotted away, and then she'd put essential
All
oils...
ration.
She'd put essential oils all over you so that nobody smelt it for a long, long time. They'd be dead before anybody knew you were gone.
Oh, my God. That could happen.
You're crystal balling the hell out of today.
Yep.
Good for you. In a matter of hours, people all over the planet, whether you're a true American or not, are going to be celebrating the 4th of July. It's become an international holiday, really.
So you're going to tell me that you don't have no black cats, no Roman candles, or screaming mimes?
No.
Oh, come on, man. You don't got no lady fingers, buzz buttles, snicker bombs, church burners, finger blasters, gut busters, zippity doodads, or crap flappers?
No, I don't.
You're going to stand there owning a fireworks stand and tell me you don't have no whistling bungholes, no spleen splitters, whisker biscuits, honky lighters, hoosker do's, hoosker don'ts, cherry bombs, nipsy daisers, with or without the scooter stick, or one single whistling kitty chaser?
Now, fireworks are going to scare the hell out of your dog. Elaine, I'll do you one better. I have a friend who lives on acreage. Their next neighbor is, it's got to be a mile down the road. But all of a sudden, one night, they heard a boom, and they thought an airplane crashed into their backyard. The whole entire house shook. They got on their four-wheeler. They went down the road. And they said, what the hell was that? And his neighbor from behind the shed showed him a cannon.
What?
He has a genuine, like, World War I at Gettysburg cannon.
Does he think about the repercussions, where it's going to go? Like, when
Now-
you shoot a gun, you got to think about where that bullet's going to end up.
Sure. So here's what he does, is he's got cannon balls. Legitimate ones that he's had made for the cannon. He packs it full of gunpowder. He's got an actual
Oh, my God.
burner thing. What do you call it?
A wick?
Oh, yeah, no, it's not a wick when you got a gun. It's a, can't remember what you call it now. I'm into the story. But it burns slowly so they can get behind a shield, and they blows the cannon into the forest. It's all woods back there. There's
Okay.
just acreage and acreage and acreage. So at one point, 10,000 years down the road, somebody's going to walk through there and go, what the hell was going on? There's these cannonballs laying there. But it shook my friend's house a mile away.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? You move in, you got the serenity of the country, there's wildlife everywhere. Then on a Tuesday night, boom, and your whole house shakes. And so I'm like, I don't know if this is really, really weird or super awesome.
I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's a weird purchase, but I would want to watch it as long as nothing is getting destroyed.
I want to be part of this.
But that's like a heads up. That's a neighbor heads up thing. That's like a neighborly thing to do. Going to be setting off my cannon tonight. Just want to give you a heads up.
This has got White Claw written all over it, right?
Yes.
This has several really, really cold White Claws written all over it. And now I just wanted to know, is this too rednecky for you? Would you light up the cannon?
Sometimes you got to get rednecky. Sometimes you just got to have one of those nights where your feet are so dirty and you have just a pyramid of cans in the pale moonlight, you know?
So I wanted to turn this over and kind of spin it like this. You got a neighbor. What's the coolest thing about your neighbor? For me, the people that just moved in next door, he has got like the highest end Corvette money can buy. I just love living next to him because it makes me look like a baller. It makes our neighborhood cooler because he's got this pimped out Corvette.
So my neighbor has one of the coolest garages ever. Everything is stainless steel, and I'm so jealous. And the floor,
You got the epoxy?
one of those lacquer. Yeah, it's so nice and amazing.
Coolest thing about a neighbor, Elena.
Not a neighbor here, but a neighbor back home. He has a whole hockey, skating area downstairs.
Oh, he put that synthetic ice
Yes.
downstairs.
That's cool.
That is pretty decent. So you've got a neighbor that is legitimately cool. Like they own a cannon or a Corvette. What's the coolest thing about one of your neighbors?
There is one doctor, not many, but revealing that you only need to wash 3 parts of your body with soap. The rest can just be rinsed off with water.
Elena, where do you need a little how's your father?
I would say armpits, and then your front private area, and then your booty.
That's exactly what I wrote. I wrote my pits, my privates, and my butt. I had
I'd
an ex that never used soap. He just used water on his face, and his face was amazing. He never used soap.
Some people, it's just a blessing. I would say for sure your hands, your junk, and your face.
Your hands?
Yeah, I'd say your hands need soap.
Your hands would get the soap on it anyway.
Yeah, because that's how you rub everything. You put it on your hands.
What if I loofah?
You don't loofah because you make fun of people that way. Right. So we were asking, what are the 3 main ones that you think of? Brittany says she can't call in, but she says my main 3 are armpits, privates, and feet.
Keisha, 3 main spots you gotta have.
I would say your armpits, your groin area, and your feet, or also your behind.
Okay, so you're on the
just 3.
Yeah, you're on. Well, so you got to go feet or behind. Which one are you going with?
I do the butt, man.
I'd say your feet because you use those more.
Yeah, I agree. Well, Kat's got butt problems, so I think that's why she's going there.
I just think anybody should wash their butt.
All right, is Keisha right?
No.
What are the 3 that you have to wash?
The 3 that you have to wash, I already shared it.
Oh, I thought
It
you
is
said
armpits, groin, and feet.
So that is for sure the 3.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought maybe we were just teasing
No, they
it up.
said armpits, groin, and feet. Everything else you can just rinse with water, I guess.
I don't know.
I think the
you
butt's
wanna-
pretty important, man.
I think you want to wash your face with soap too, right?
Terry, I can't quite read what you wrote, but he says the old man says rhymes with Max, hands, and face. So that took you too long.
I had to spell it out in my head.
Yeah. 12. Oh. Okay, never mind.
You guys,
I can't say that one either.
I was like 7th grade, I believe, and I broke out in a horrible rash. And it was crazy because I remember it wasn't that bad until it was like the week I had to get my physical for football in 7th grade.
Yeah.
And I go in and the doctor's like, "What is going on?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I just kind of started doing this." And I'd never been allergic to anything in my life. And he determined that I was allergic to ivory soap.
Yeah.
And I remember my mom going, "But it's 99 and 44 1/100ths pure." Like it said it on the box. And he goes, "Yeah, some people just break out to certain soaps." And so I've never used ivory soap since, but I was always afraid because it was heavy, like my armpits, you know what I mean? Like you're in 7th grade and you're a boy and you start getting a couple of little hairs there and you're like, I mean, because you stink all the time. And you wash and you wash, and I was like, it's just burning in my arms.
What did it look like? Was it like pussy?
Like
or
like hives.
Oh,
like it was
okay.
like red bumps, and it just kind of permeated from my armpits on out onto my back and everything.
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, you're allergic to your soap," and I'm like, "How do you get allergic to something that's supposed to be almost pure?" That's the way it is.
All right. Well,
Head, shoulders, knees, and toes. So really, if you're washing anything today, it's got to be
pits, groin, and feet.
pits, groin, and feet are where you should meet. Pits, groin, and feet.
I don't want to meet anyone there.
Have you guys heard about what's going on with eBay?
No.
Okay, so this is so crazy. I thought this was something from The Onion, but it's real life. So there's an indictment that's going on against 6 former eBay employees. And apparently they were doing some stuff to this other company, E-commerce Bytes.
Okay.
They were doing this harassment campaign. So this E-commerce Bytes, these people basically did this critical review of eBay. And so these 6 former eBay employees started doing things like sending live spiders, cockroaches in the mail. Yeah. A funeral wreath. And then the one that totally got me, a bloody pig mask.
Now, what's the point of this? Is
Just
it like
to-
when Burger King and McDonald's like feud?
It was never that bad.
No, it was just like they were trying to entice fear on them because they did this bad critical review of eBay and they were like, "Yo, take down this review. You better give us a better review." And so they started doing this.
Wow.
And they're saying the guy who kind of led this campaign, he kind of drew from the movie Johnny Be Good.
Okay.
I don't know if he's okay. I didn't know, JJ. It's like a sports comedy apparently from 1988, but it's just insane. I mean, I saw this headline, "Bloody Pig Mask Sent," and I'm like, okay, this has to be fake. But no, they did this. So I want to chat revenge. How did you get revenge?
Okay, you ready?
I feel like I'm going to go to prison.
Okay.
Kat, you start.
So I will start. I lived with 4 men for about 6 months because
Shocker.
I couldn't afford to live there anymore. They all had girlfriends. It was a packed house in Uptown.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm going to be on my own. I'm going to live there and, be the Uptown girl. And one day they were all gone and I would eat their food all the time. And then they started leaving notes on the fridge, like, "Please stop eating our food." And we never crossed paths or anything like that. And so I was like, fine, I'll stop eating your food. And the bathroom was so gross. 4 guys pee everywhere. I mean, it was everywhere, just caked. And so I'm like, I'm going to be really nice. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to clean. And then, I don't know, I'm not spiteful. I'm not vengeful at all. But a part of me was just like, I'm going to do what I got to do. And I've never done anything like this again.
Oh, my God. I can't wait for this.
I did to one of the guys. His name was Josh. And he was the rudest, okay? I took some rigatoni one day. And he blew it up. I was like, are you for real over rigatoni? So I took his toothbrush and I put it around the grit and the grime next to the floor by the toilet. There were curly fries. There were, every single thing that you think would land next to the toilet. There were nail droppings. Everything. Grit, grime, grease. It was all there. And I just did a swipe. And then I put it on top of his little organizer. And I was like, you know what? I don't even feel bad. I didn't feel bad whatsoever.
You still don't feel bad
That
about
was my revenge. Saying it out loud, it was pretty terrible.
Yeah.
But back then I was like, I'm 21. I'm just like,
I didn't think much of you when the show started, and now even less. I got to be honest.
Good.
So, revenge, Elena, you got one for me?
I got with an X's X. So the ex had kind of screwed me over, and she had mentioned
You're just
how
mean.
Well, she had mentioned how she kind of maybe still had feelings for this other ex, and we ended up matching on Tinder. And
man.
Were
I
you
thought
even
was the
attracted to this girl, or you did it just for spite?
It was a little bit of both, It was like, oh, okay. She's not like unattractive.
I
so.
feel like I could see you doing one of those selfies with her sleeping in the background.
Oh, I totally did a Snapchat of her making me breakfast in the morning.
Stop it. Was she in one of your vintage T-shirts?
No, she was in like a silk robe.
I can't imagine Elena letting anyone else wear one of her vintage T-shirts.
God.
The relationship spots are usually where the revenge comes from. And that's why I want to talk to Jamie here real quick. So what was going on? The best revenge you ever got?
After we broke up, I found out he cheated on me. And I also found out that he had 2 bench warrants out for his arrest for like minor conception and fake ID.
Yeah,
and
sure.
On Friday the 13th, it was March, I remember it perfectly.
Okay.
I found this out. He owed me money on top of that. So I found out that he was at a bar with a fake ID, underage. So I called and told them where he was, that he had a fake ID, what his Social Security was, because I happen to know that.
Sure, why not?
And they went and picked him up on the bench warrant on top of all the other things.
Good God.
And he ended up sitting 11 days in jail.
Yeah.
See, that's bad. If it's...
Going to get it on his permanent record.
JT, can you do me better? Give me the ultimate revenge story, buddy.
I think the best one was probably when I stapled my brother to the floor.
All right, give me some more details on this one.
All right.
We were staying with my aunt and sleeping on the floor, so I stretched his pajamas out, took that staple gun, and stapled him to the floor.
And he never
didn't get to
woke
go to
up?
school that day. Well, we were sleeping straight on the floor, so it was kind of iffy there for a few minutes, but when he did wake up, we were already at school. He couldn't tell on me, and he told us we're not going to school.
I'm trying to picture this. Did you have like a staple gun?
Yeah,
Because staples
cha-chung,
couldn't
cha-chung,
possibly
cha-chung,
penetrate
cha-chung.
that. So you went around with a staple gun.
Yeah.
That's loud. And he slept through the entire thing?
Well, it was one of them hand-squeeze staple guns.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't break out the compressor, not like I wanted to, but...
And he just, he laid there the entire day till he got done with school?
Well, he eventually got up at some point, but I mean, I didn't throw him to the floor like I wanted to, but one of my cousins did help me, and if he had gotten up, he wasn't getting up.
Oh,
But then and there he knew what you were capable of. So was he a good brother after that? Or did he test you?
Oh, no, we went back and forth after that for, I can't tell you how long. I locked him in the shower and turned the cold water on.
You are
You're one of my favorites, man. I appreciate you being on the show. Thanks, JT. And then, Devin, I'm reading something here about a lug nut and peeing in a bucket. Can you elaborate, please?
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys have ever played Risk or not.
Yeah.
But we had a buddy that we would all kind of turn on him at the end of the game. And he was the guy that would flip the table over and destroy the whole game for everyone.
Sure.
And one night, it was like a 4-hour wrist bender, and he flipped the table. And we're like, this is the last time. Like, last time you're going to get away with this. So me and a couple buddies, we heard that our parents did it before to their friends. So we went out in the middle of the night and took the lug nuts off his car on the front tires, and then we all peed in a bucket and then set it right next to his driver door. And it all froze overnight, and then man.
He had to chop out frozen urine to get the lug nuts out of there?
You don't ever hear about girls doing this stuff. Girls don't do gross things like this.
Oh, that's genius, Devin.
You know, the best part is we're like, even if he unfreezes it, he's got to wash it. He's got to at some point touch our urine.
That is so
Great
gross.
story. I love it, man. Thank you for sharing with us. All right.
My parents gave me the idea.
Right.
That's even worse.
It's not just being, just maniacal, but the fact that your parents gave you the idea, I'm loving it.
Download the podcast.
The Playhouse Podcast is made possible thanks to Bradshaw and Bryant Law Offices. Catch the live show weekdays from 5:30 to 9 on 104.7 KCLD. Now, share this with a friend. immediately.
And hey, we have more podcast episodes available, so go check them out right now. Do it. Come on, do it. Seriously, do it.